Hi, Joel. We're here today and we're going to be talking about the Divine Essence Water Element Disc and how that relates to healing the inner child. You know, there's lots of times where that inner child, um, we have forgotten the inner child. You know, we've just grown up, we moved on, and there is that inner child who we've forgotten. There's the inner child who has been damaged in some ways, the inner child who's afraid. So all of those things around the inner child, if you can show us how to use the water element disc, that's the element of water, that flowing, wonderful essence, to open up the space to heal our inner child.
So we have some powerful opportunities, Candace, to access what I would call the healthy aspect of the inner child.
Oh, wow.
Because inner child, or the innocence within, is the part that could be overwhelmed, but it's also the part that lets us look at a beautiful day and enjoy it for what it is.
Well, and imagine, the imagination that comes from, the
Yes.
creativity.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You aren't trying to monetize it. You aren't trying to analyze it. You aren't trying to judge it. You're just saying, the color blue in the sky, whoopee. So it's very simple. The water element brings us to the sense of flow. It's almost the opposite of thinking really hard. It's more like thinking really easy, or feeling with ease all of the subtleties that can be experienced in any given moment. So when you access the flow, which you can do just by holding it with your fingertips, or placing it on your body, you can work with your brain. It's subtle. It slows things down to a gentle flow. And you can literally use it to weave that flowiness through your body. Now, what that lets you do is to step back from over-reliance on brain analysis, and it puts you more into feeling in the moment. And it puts you more into that flowy sense that you can think about something and then think about something else. Imagination. Or you could look at a tree and then look at the branches and then observe the squirrel, and then you discover a bird, and then you notice the clouds. And you might say, well, what's the point of that? The point of it is that it doesn't have a point. It's that's the beauty of it. It's putting you into an experience that is a sense of wonder.
When I was doing this, I was just sensing an opening, just kind of like release, just like an opening and, a feeling of that inner child.
Yes.
Just that, where there was no constraints or concerns, or it was just an opening. This is like,
yes.
Oh, there's like room here to whatever. Yeah, very cool.
It's so curious that people take drugs to have that experience, but drugs have side effects.
Right.
So what if you could get into the flow? What if you could have that innocence?
Wow.
Without harming yourself?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we won't try to sell it for that, but.
and what if there was tension, and what if you needed to use a flowing energy to move the tension? So if you felt tension in your shoulders, let's say, and you sweep the tension out, and as always, visualize that you're moving the disc right through the body tissue. And it gives a gentle reminder to the body that the water element is always part of you and always available. And it smooths things out. It smooths everything. It's one of the elements
of who you are.
What's that?
It's one of the elements of who we are. I mean, besides the fact that we're more than 70% water, but it's
Yeah.
still, our body carries all of the elements. So
It does.
it's still,
As does your mind.
right, so it's still, it's like resonating with that part of yourself
Mm,
and allowing that part of yourself to be present.
so true. Yes.
Very, very cool.
It's reminding you of something that's intrinsic to you that may have been forgotten with the ever rapid pace of society and with your reactions to the ever rapid pace in which you're so wound up.
So when we were doing this in the process, I literally could feel, when I spoke about an openness, I could feel my inner child. And as I did that, I felt an openness, but I actually, because I allowed that openness, I could actually feel the feelings of that inner child.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it wasn't
Yeah.
just like happiness, it was like where that inner child really was. There was some sadness, but
Mm.
I was able to feel it and experience without being in crisis,
Yes.
without being, in a place where I was out of control or
Mm.
sad, but I could just feel the essence of the inner child and the real
Mm.
feelings of that
It's the
without
deep,
all of the
yeah, the deeper
stuff.
ground of being that is deep within us. And to
Right.
clarify for those who might suppose that in talking about inner child, we're talking about childishness, not at all.
Right.
If you were at the beach or in the mountains or in any place of beauty or harmony, it's the inner childlike part that can just sit there and say, I can just be with the waves. I can enjoy the clouds. I can breathe in the scent. Because that's not the adult part that's saying, okay, let's line these all up and get them organized. It's just the clouds, the squirrel, the birds.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Wow, Joel, wonderful. Thank you
It's
so much.
You're so welcome. A lot of these things are beyond words, and so when we're using words to explain it, I just hope for the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Blessings, Candace.
For more training videos like this, and to ask your Powerforms questions, join our social forum at powerformshealing.com. It's free. powerformshealing.com.